the answers, tell me the answers. I could find you, I could find
From the Sporting News Studios, this is Hot Corner with your host, Matt Latevsky.
I got all the answers, all the answers. I could find you, I could find all the answers. If you let me get it close and study you.
All right, it's baseball season, Eric. Officially.
Yes.
Last time it was officially, but this
No,
is
now it feels more like it.
officially.
We've got like
officially.
one more kind of milestone we got to get past, and that's the random days off in the middle of the week.
Right.
We got to get back on the Monday,
Every
Thursday
team to
schedule.
have their home opener.
Right. Once we
over
get
that.
past that, we are fully
We're in. It's go time.
We got day games today.
That's right. Got to introduce you though, Eric Ferrari, because you're not on the intro.
No, I'm not.
Fantasy
When do you
baseball
think I can get on
enthusiast.
there?
Oh, still probationary period.
Man.
It's a while,
All right, well,
but
should I send an email or?
gotta send an email to someone.
Okay.
At least a Slack message
I'll
to
do
someone. Get on it. Now we're in our in-season sort of routine. I think it's gonna be a little more structured, but we're still feeling things out here early on.
Yeah, I mean,
Still.
we're still going through the same kind of prep that teams are going through. Figuring out skipping fifth starters.
Well, are you like your Red Sox actually working out starters? Building up arm strength?
Yeah, they're
Working on fastballs?
they've apparently decided to opt out of spring training this
Yeah.
year for their pitchers and just do spring training in April.
Why not?
Which has been working out really well.
It hasn't been working out well.
Really?
It's a power move.
Like their starting pitchers are seriously like working on things during
Building up
real
strength.
games that count
Yeah.
in April, and they're 1-5.
And Chris Sale's getting praised for not striking people out.
Oh, that broadcast last night.
He's a pitcher, not a
Like,
thrower.
Dennis Eckersley, pretty much taken over for the most part Red Sox analyst job. Dave O'Brien gushing about how Chris Sale, he's just pitching now. Like he wasn't pitching before because he's barely topping out at 90. But now somehow that means he's pitching. And he doesn't need to strike guys out. Well, yeah, he gave up one run last night, but one strikeout, that's not going to cut it.
That's not good enough.
In fantasy or in real life. Like I'm not.
Not for Chris Sale, especially.
No. I'm not super worried yet, but
But a little.
they were gushing a little too hard.
But a little. All right. So the way we're going to kind of set this up, we're going to start off, we're just going to talk about some baseball general stuff. It'll always relate to fantasy because how could it not? We'll get into the injuries. We've had a bunch of big ones this week, some first-round picks. Well, a first-round pick, another standing second-round pick, etc. Get into that. We'll get into some waiver guys you might want to pick up. Normally, we're going to talk about some drops and streamers, but this early in the season, I don't even know if it's not really worth getting into drops.
Yeah, well, the streamer thing's tough because teams are skipping.
They're skipping starters.
Guys, and I don't trust the probable pitchers yet.
I mean, let's be honest too. We're not going to have reliable stats for a while, but we definitely don't have like reliable versus lefty versus righty.
But I think we know that the Giants' offense is terrible. And their park is big.
We can safely say the Giants. I think the Marlins. I think the Royals.
Little Blue Jays. Tigers.
Blue Jays are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Well, hey, the Tigers knocked around Chapman last night. So we're not going to do too much of that. And then the big one, closer talk.
Oh man.
The closer corner. That's going to be a big one every week, I feel. And it's probably going to be these exact same teams most weeks, but
And people care about that though. I care about it. I don't want to care about it, but
you shouldn't. You should
the
have
closer
saves plus
thing is a
holds.
huge part of fantasy.
It's massive.
Figuring out, getting in early.
Right.
Like that
That's
whole.
why you should have saves plus holds. And you wouldn't need to worry about it as much.
Yeah, or just something else.
We're going to get into all that. I want to start though just by pointing out I'm going to be a company show right off the bat.
All right.
For DAZN Change Up. They call it a whip around show every weeknight, 7 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. And so we didn't really know. It's like we work for the company, but we don't really work for that aspect of the company,
Well, yeah.
Like for the show, I mean.
Yeah, we're not in the production
No.
department.
We're just dudes who sit down in a basement and record a podcast.
I guess we are on the bottom floor. I don't know if it's a basement.
Yeah, it's kind of a basement. A bunker. How about that? And so, we were kind of just sitting there going, I wonder what exactly this show's going to be. And it starts, and I got to say, I greatly enjoy it. I have the package, as do you. So I'll watch full games and go like that. But it just definitely for a second, if you're a second screener, as I think a lot of people are, having that on, and it just goes game to game. Boom, boom, instant highlights, replays.
If you don't have the package, right? Even
Right.
if you do, I guess, if you're invested in fantasy, DFS, traditional, if you're betting on games, it's definitely a cool show to watch because you can just sit back, let them flip around for you.
Right.
They've talked about it before when it was sold to us. Basically, it's red zone for baseball.
Right.
So jump around, catch all important at bats, all that stuff, and
it's just there all night for you, weeknight.
Yep.
So that's our little. It's not even a thing we were asked to do or have to do. I just feel like, hey, this is something people should know about, and because if you play fantasy, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you do. I think you'd like it. So I just wanted to get that out there.
I co-sign that.
There you go. So let's get into a few things we've noticed from this first week. And one thing I always want to talk about is we sit here, we did some preview podcast. Anything you read, you go to sportnews.com/fantasy, you read the articles, and inevitably, no matter where you read preseason content, people would talk about, this guy's hitting in this spot. Oh, good runs, good RBIs. And then the season starts and 3 games in. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean anything.
Guys are hitting all over.
Right, but like who comes to mind from you that maybe you thought it was more of a positive outlook?
I just think of someone because you talked about Devers hitting 3, and then it's like, oh, they're facing a lefty, he's down to 6.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's hit 3 every game but the lefty game.
Well,
and
right.
actually last night they faced the lefty and he hit 3rd. So
Yeah. Wait, Fire's a lefty?
oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got my games crossed. I was thinking because I was watching the Seattle game with Marco Gonzalez.
That's right.
Throwing at the
Almost
same
going
time.
CG.
So.
But the point is this: he was one that stood out in that lefty game. There's plenty of others, so I'm sure I could find a ton of them that I was just like, hey, I thought he was supposed to hit here. Why is this? And it's just it's probably the most overrated aspect of preseason, analysis.
Besides the actual stats, people like.
Well, yeah, you get hung up
hitting
on
5 homers in the spring and then
right.
as
Well,
the
yeah,
starts, they're doing nothing.
I feel like people kind of know that's overrated.
Or hitting no homers.
See Brinson, Lou.
Yeah, and I want to say Goldschmidt didn't hit a spring homer possibly, and then
boom, 3 in a game.
Popped off 4 already. JD Martinez didn't have a spring homer. He hit 2 right away.
Right. So that's just it. But there's so much stuff that. And, early in the year, it's always weird because managers want to get everyone in a game pretty early on.
I never got that because it's like,
gotta be ready.
If anything, if anything, everyone just played in the spring. But you get in the middle of June.
It's different.
When all your starters are playing every day. That's when those guys need at bats because that's when they're not playing.
Right.
They're taking BP. And then they're sitting on the bench all night. These guys just came from Florida and Arizona playing all the time.
Should be fresh as
I don't get it.
But the point is, I just these things change so much. Depth charts change. How many guys did we sit there and we talk up and they're out of the lineup in the second game or they're just whatever it is, and you're like, wait a minute, or the opposite, right? You avoided a guy because you're like, we talked about my boys Renfroe and Avisail Garcia. Right. Avisail's playing almost every night because Yandy is playing third base, which I don't know how many people expected. And then Renfroe hasn't been playing a ton, but he got in there last night, hit 2 dingers. He's in there now. Will Myers today, Wednesday, is starting in center field. Both Fran Mill and Renfroe are in the lineup today. It's that it's easy sometimes. Like you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it feels like sometimes too these managers they put guys in horrible positions where they don't give them any rope, and it's like they throw a guy in a spot and then they lose patience so fast. Even when we get into the closer stuff, a lot of these closers we're going to talk about, they're not great pitchers, but even still, their managers give them one save opportunity and they're out.
Yeah, it's like I don't get it.
Yeah,
there's some weird stuff there. It's such a long season, and we all know that. And then for some reason,
and they know more than us.
No.
Right.
Well, they should.
I mean, the managers and
some don't.
Yeah.
Some do. What they ought to. Hey, this isn't patience. It's the opposite. I want to get into Orioles starter. Is David Hess? It's David, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this dude, who knows anything about David Hess, right? This isn't like a top prospect.
Is he of the gas station Hesses?
Must be.
He got some of that old money.
He's an heir. So he's a dude. He's a young pitcher. He's 25 years old. He's not thought of as a top prospect by any means. This guy's out there, and his first start of this season,
Right. Well, there was a piece of information that you didn't know when you originally complained about
and I've looked
this.
back, but I'm still complaining about it.
Okay.
First start of this season, so he has a no-hitter through 7 1/3, 82 pitches,
Right.
and they yank him.
Right. But then we went and looked. He threw in relief 3 days earlier.
3 days, so he was on 3 days rest. He threw 2 innings. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd say you let him keep going. You have to.
You're just gonna blow the guy's arm out and
Is that gonna see? This is what I hate. People are just like, yeah, his arm would be blown out. He'd have Tommy John the next day. Like, what if he didn't?
Well, you know what's funny though? If you're David Hess,
Yes.
and you want to have a career, and there's been other David Hess types that have certainly made.
There's been a lot of David
They've
Hess
certainly
types.
made a career out of their pitching. Okay, they've made some money.
Yeah.
But if you're David Hess and you're on the Orioles, they're terrible. It's gonna be a horrible year. If you throw that no hitter,
early.
where does that no hitter rank on like your career life highlights? Right? Like,
That is, I mean, at that point, if you're David Hess, and again, you probably think very highly of yourself because you have to.
Hess?
Yes, you're.
Oh, Hesse?
Yeah, Hess dog is like, I'm a professional athlete. You think you're gonna have a long career. You're gonna be very good.
Right. You probably throw 6 no hitters.
Well, I don't think you think that, but you definitely are like, yeah, I'm gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna be around a while. But this is it. This is gonna be your crowning achievement.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're gonna be talking about in bars 40 years from now. Remember when Hesse threw a no against the Blue Jays?
Oh, Hesse's talking about his no-no
Oh,
again.
great. Old Hesse. Put a quarter in that guy. Off he goes. And he got Randall Grichuk on that grounder. Like, whatever it's going to be, I don't know. I just don't think we've seen this before. Remember when the Dodgers did it to, I think, Stripling? A couple years ago. Again, it was very early in the year. But again, these pitch counts were like already around 100.
Right.
I get it. He threw 2 innings 3 days earlier. 82, I don't know. I think you try to let him get through it.
Interesting though, I was reading on Fangraphs that can we say it? We can talk about reading stuff on other sites, right? Okay, cool. Everyone uses Fangraphs. His velocity up 2 miles per hour from last year. So maybe.
So you're saying Hesse's the real deal?
No, I'm not saying he's the real deal, but maybe he's not
The Loch Hess monster.
just a complete junk Orioles pitcher.
Well, I mean,
maybe
I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's an adequate pitcher. He was pretty darn bad last year. You look at his minor league numbers, nothing stands out at all. I'd be at 25.
Well, what velocity was he throwing at?
Obviously lower, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just think you got to let the guy go. I'd be pissed if I was Hesse.
But till when though, right? Because that was 6 1/3.
7 1/3. He was
7
in
1/3.
the 8th already.
Okay. All right. If he was in the because I was gonna say if you let him do that in the 6th, 7th,
you can project it out at a certain
then
point. No way he.
So if he's at
finishes.
120 in the 8th, are you gonna let him keep going?
Right. That's the thing. That's why it's better to pull those guys early when you can really go. Nah, we're gonna have to pull them no matter what. Let's just do it early. But you're in the 8th already at 82 pitches.
Right.
9.
So can I tell you about one thing that I found funny this week with baseball? It doesn't have much to do with fantasy. It's just funny. So I'll go quick. So the Mets, followed this story on Twitter. I don't know how I ended up in it. I think because I'm a Noah Syndergaard owner.
Right.
So story comes up. Syndergaard's going to fly home early to get his rest and get home for the home opener.
Got to.
A lot of times pitchers fly home before the rest of the team.
Got to.
So apparently he has a roommate, Robert Gesellman, if that's how you say it. I guess New York rent prices are
ain't
a
cheap.
lot. He's not getting that DeGrom money.
Let me tell you, it
he
ain't
needs a roommate.
cheap.
Apparently they got a new apartment. Well, they don't have the keys yet.
What? How does that work?
Syndergaard says, well, I'm flying home. We don't have the keys yet. I'll get a key. I'm not waking up. I don't know how he's going to get in.
Right.
Because I'm not waking up at 3 a.m.
Right, his body's a temple.
I had a pitch the next day. Mm-hmm. So this is baffling to me. Like, wherever they live, they can't leave a key with a doorman. They can't
in New York
literally
City.
pay a clubhouse attendant $500 to sit out front with a key.
Everything
For
about
old
you can't get the
Gaselli?
old Haida Rock, the Haida Key Rock,
And
might be out of place.
And the
in a
fact that they're roommates.
apartment. Everything about it's weird.
Does it drop Syndergaard in your rankings at all?
Yes. I'm like, what's with this guy? Is he a flake? What's going on? And also, if it's really, if we've exhausted all options,
Right.
and we're at the point where it's like, one of them just goes to a hotel, right?
Right.
It's not that big a deal. I bet the team would even pay for it.
I mean, $500 to a clubhouse attendant.
Yeah.
Hey man, sit out here till.
But the big thing is there's
Bobby
definitely a
Gesellman shows up.
doorman, right?
I would think there'd be a doorman.
100%.
I would think there'd be a doorman.
Where are they living where it's like,
Where no doorman? I don't know.
they're just, I don't buy it. Something about that story is weird. I feel something about it's not true either, but Juan Soto, 3-run home run.
Yeah. Live updates here.
Yeah, live when people are listening to this a day
Tomorrow,
later.
when you listen to this, know that we were talking during Juan Soto's homer.
So, hey, speaking of the Nationals, let's get into the big. There's been 4 big injuries, I would say.
Yeah.
So far, besides the guys who were injured coming in.
In a lot of ways, well, this one might be the biggest. I think this is worse than Stanton's.
100% the biggest. Yeah, Trey Turner hit by a pitch. I mean, anytime you have the finger, it's
hit by a pitch bunting.
Right. Anytime you have the old broken finger or the wrist when you're hit by a pitch like that, it's
I haven't seen
2
it.
months, right?
I haven't seen it, but like, was his hand wrapped around the bat like they tell you how to not bunt?
Right, pretty much.
Like an 8-year-old?
But he was immediately pissed, and I think
he was pissed before he bunted.
Well, he might have been.
I don't think he wanted to bunt.
I think he was pissed at himself too. Like, just the whole thing. He was like right away was like, yeah, I'm out for 2, basically. Yeah. I'm sure in his head. I'm creating a narrative in his head as if I know his inner monologue. But, I mean, so he's out a while. This was a guy who was going top 5 in a lot of drafts. The top stolen base guy in baseball, or expected to be one of them. Got off to a really good start, too. I don't know how much that matters, but...
A couple of combo meals, a couple of Dong Johnsons already. So we could lead the league in those.
That's what we call them, Dong Johnsons.
And what's that? Can you explain that to our loyal listeners?
That's when you get a steal and a homer in the same game. Why? Do you remember why we call it that?
I don't know why we call it a Dong Johnson. I call it a combo meal.
Well, right, which is a good... Well, smash and grab.
Smash and grab. I like smash and grab.
Smash and grab makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, way back when we had the old blog you could do comments on for Sporting News Fantasy, I think I wrote it. Like, hey, what should this be called? Basically. And someone in the comments wrote... Dong Johnson.
For no reason, really?
I think he said because Howard Johnson used to do it a lot back in like the late 80s, early 90s. But it was just like, Dong Johnson.
All right. Can we put more effort into smash and grab?
I like smash and grab, but I think Dong Johnson is just the
he might be a popular pick for leading the league in those.
Right. Or he's up there for sure.
Him, Baez, Trout.
Right. So, Lindor and Ramirez too. But anyway, that's kind of... beside the point. So now they have to replace him. You're looking at Wilmer Defoe. Or, I mean, I saw some things where they're saying, oh, Carter Kaiboom. We're going to say Kaiboom.
Yeah,
even if
he hasn't played over AA yet.
No, exactly.
I don't think it's going to be him. And not if this is a month, they're not going to bring up that kid.
It's going to be more than a month, though.
All right. If it's 5 weeks.
Right. It's going to be like 8.
All right.
That's
I still don't know if you bring up a kid. I mean, Defoe's a major leaguer. I mean, he's not amazing, but
the point is, there's really no there's nothing to take advantage of here. This is just all bad if you own Trey Turner.
Here's a little angle. I got an angle for you.
Let's hear it.
I think it helps. Might help Doge a little bit. Moves him up to the 2-hole at least today.
All right. Well,
gets him in better run scoring and
RBI. Hit the ball?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's going to have to hold up his end of the bargain.
Yeah,
but
that's an important part.
He's in a better run scoring and run producing position, the 2-hole today, if he can hold that down.
Right. 0-77 coming into
he's due.
That's one way to look at it.
He's due.
He's due for all of last year, too.
Former smash and grab.
Oh, yeah. Hey, first guy to 10-10.
Yeah.
We should have bet on that.
Yes.
He's going to be the first 10-10 guy.
I would have said Turner in a heartbeat, but... Now, I don't know. Go back to Trouter, I guess.
He's going to be Trouter.
I don't know if Trouter's going to steal.
Trouty?
I don't know if he's going to steal a lot this year.
He got paid, man.
Although he's going to walk a ton, and no one else on that team can get on the get up. He actually might go 40-40 with 40 solo homers and 40 steals.
That's exactly how it works. 48 RBIs in a 40-40 year. So... We'll talk about that more next week, the first 10-10 guy, because we always like that. So Turner, another guy, finger injury, Dan Murphy.
Yep.
His is a little weirder. It's like the mallet finger.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
I don't think anyone does. There's no surgery, just rest. Who knows how long it could be? Daniel Murphy doesn't exactly have a history of coming back quick.
I feel like it could either be really good news or really bad news.
I feel like a month minimum.
Like Turner will be right on whenever they announce a timetable.
They say 6 weeks, he'll be back 6 weeks.
Right. Like Murphy, it could go either way. Yeah. It could be really bad.
I would bet on whatever the date is, I would bet on the over on that date. But this is big because, it's Colorado player.
Right.
So we're in Colorado now.
Yep.
And we get... So now and there's an everyday spot for Hampson and McMahon if they choose to go that route. They could both play every day. Or Mark Reynolds now could play a lot, and Hampson and McMahon continue to sort of platoon.
Right. And there's even former prospects... if they wanted to move Desmond to first, they wanted to go with Ramil Tapia, who was a former prospect. He's a little older now, but
Well, that's the big. They should move Desmond. Although he did rob. Who's did he robbed of a homer? Remember?
one of
Luke
our,
Brinson.
a game-winning homer,
Yeah.
game time, game-winning.
I don't know if it was either of those, but he robbed Brinson. of a homer.
But if Tapia could possibly play center and they move Desmond to first, so there's
Sure.
a few guys that
There's
affect.
plenty of
It'll probably be
options.
McMahon and Hampson.
Probably. I kind of think Reynolds is going to be around more than
He's always around.
he kind of is.
He's always
And
around.
if he's around and he's in Colorado, people are going to kind of get excited, even though when was the last time he really had a big homer year?
2 years ago, right?
2 years ago?
Or was it
Let me
3?
double check.
Well, when Mark Reynolds is in Colorado starting, I mean, you talk maybe
Okay,
not for-
2017 he hit 30. But in 2015, now granted this was with the Cardinals, 13. 2016, 14, 118 games. Then he hit 30, and you're like, hey, Mark Reynolds. And then last year, 86 games, 13. So I guess last year the pace was still pretty good.
To me, Reynolds more of a DFS guy, right?
Yeah.
Playing in, if you know he's in the lineup,
At home.
games in Colorado, I mean, God forbid, if he's going against a lefty.
You just assume he kills lefties.
Right. He's the kind of guy who just kills lefties.
What if he doesn't, though?
He probably does.
All right, let me
Nobody
check.
needs to look that up. Yeah, you don't need to
I'm
look it
gonna
up.
check,
I'm sure
though.
it's fine.
I'm just going to check.
I'm sure it's fine.
I just want to check to see. So,
I'm sure it's fine.
bottom line, though, is this is still going to kind of probably be frustrating, I think, for a while. It's not going to be a clean just Hampson and McMahon. Great.
I think they're going to play a lot.
Well, they should. I mean,
Yeah.
well, look, they already were, right? Especially McMahon.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, McMahon's not going to play any less.
Well, yeah, he should be fine. I guess it's Hampson. And Hampson might have more value, right? Because he can steal bases and things like that. In his career, Mark Reynolds, worst slugging percentage against lefties.
Yeah, but how's his
Better
batting average?
OBP.
Yeah, see?
Average is lower, too, though.
OBP, though. He's getting on. They don't want to face him. They don't throw him strikes.
A little bit
How are you
more.
going to slug all those balls that they're throwing at him? You know? It's
tough.
Just take the walk.
But he strikes out a ton, so that doesn't really apply. All right,
I told you not to look it up.
but I did. So, Giancarlo Stanton,
Yeah. This
Biceps.
one hurt. This one hurt.
2 to 4. That's what we'll put on this timetable,
I
but
think
we
we'll put
really
2 to
don't
4.
have one.
Yeah, we don't. I've read on Twitter, not going to
seems
be a big
3.
deal.
I keep
Heard other
reading
people
3.
being like, it's dangerous because this is bicep
Well, it's biceps, and this is a big
for a power
slugger.
hitter. Yeah.
I'm a little more worried than the people saying don't worry. But
Yeah.
whatever.
The good thing is, I don't think he's going to go sit and do a million minor league games. When he's
No.
all right, he's probably
No.
maybe DH. I don't know if DH even helps.
Yeah, no.
Was it
probably
his
not.
right? Is it his throwing arm?
I'm not even sure, honestly, but it's either way. It's so the guy who I think everyone sort of jumped on right away is going to benefit from this is Clint Frazier, right? Mm-hmm. Seemed to be a guy, but look, it could be a variety of guys. I mean, they've been starting. Is it Tauchman?
Yeah.
Tauchman? This is a problem. I always watch baseball on mute, so I never hear names.
Right. Me too. I mean, I watch one game with sound and then 2 games
Right.
on mute. So
I'm always watching baseball on mute. So these fellas.
what are you doing when what are you listening to?
Well, either some sort of podcast or I have basketball on the main thing, and then I have baseball on another screen.
All right, so maybe when basketball ends,
Yeah, it's not going to end for a while, so
it's over for the Timberwolves, isn't it?
I don't even know why that's important. So, I mean, chances, great lineup, obviously, great park. We all know Yankees, etc. We all get excited about them, but either of these guys, or Frazier, I guess, is the big one.
I guess. I mean, I'm not. The thing is, with outfielders, there's so many outfielders out
Yeah.
there. I mean, depending on what's going on in your league,
Right.
and even like if you're in a roto league, like what do you need?
Right. It's
You want to
just
pick
about
up
streaks.
more of like a speed guy and get some steals for you. You need a power guy. I don't really know about these
Well,
guys doing anything special.
So the other big injury, and this might be the longest, is Andujar on the Yankees. Shoulder, possibly season ending.
right. It sounds like they do not want to end the season, but
I'm sure they don't.
I think-
But that's
seems like a weird one that is just even if they do come back, how much power is he going to have? With
right. That's a big
labrum.
big power sapping injury. So Tulo, LeMahieu are the guys. Tulo's obviously starting right now. If it's a season ender, does he shift to third when Gregorius comes back? Or is it just going to be LeMahieu or someone else? I mean, obviously, there's always other options with the
I saw some stuff on Twitter this week that Greg Bird's taking grounders at third.
That could be big.
Hasn't played there in a long time. I mean, that to me is the biggest thing because Tulo's going to get hurt, right? Like, we know Tulo's not going to play forever.
Right.
LeMahieu's like pretty good real baseball player. Not
The bottom line with him is if he didn't put up home, I mean, obviously he was a great batting average guy. He had some good numbers like that. But if he didn't do anything in Colorado power wise,
right. Yeah,
gonna
he's
do
a
it
good
Yankee
baseball
Stadium.
player, going to get on base for them, but not a big fantasy guy. I think if Bird were to play third for real, and him and Voit are now in the lineup every day, I mean, there's something there. You know, there's some power there to be had.
Here's a question: at what point? I mean, obviously with the IL, you can just put Andujar there and wait, right? But let's just say you have a team, you have 3 guys. Now you're eating roster spots.
I have 3 DL spots and I have 5 guys in
At what point?
IL. Sorry.
At what point do you just say screw it with Andujar? Even if he comes back, he's not going to be that good.
Well, I mean, I think you got to wait it out a little while. They're gonna.
That's what I'm saying. How long though? Because I'm convinced he's going to be a wash.
I don't think you can drop him quite yet.
Probably not, but
most people, I would think, unless you went and filled up your IL spots with like pickups, it's April. You shouldn't be that unlucky where your spots are filled. Like, you know, for instance, on my team, like I'm not carrying any backup hitters.
But I mean,
now,
some people only have one IL spot.
Yeah, But like, depends on what you have for like right now. I'm not carrying any backup hitters because I don't like need me until something bad.
Well,
happens.
you play a weekly league too. That could be a big difference.
I wouldn't drop him just yet.
All right. Well, let's get into some potential pickups, though, just in case you are looking to drop them. Obviously, the guys we mentioned are potential pickups. They're replacements.
Yep.
Again, there's a million this early in the year. It doesn't take much to have good numbers.
I want to have like a 50-man roster because there's so many guys that I want to pick up.
This guy could be good all year.
But deep down, I know that they're not.
Yeah, by the end of April, they'll be hitting 250. They'll be doing what they do. So one guy, he got a opening day, right? He had the 2 homers, or was it the next day? It was pretty early in the year when Wong.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Cole Wong.
Oh, Wong, yeah.
First on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm supposed to be looking at the list.
Yeah. So he's gotten off to a really good start. 3 homers, couple steals. You know, this is a guy who was a big prospect. Like people were like 2020 potential upside. And then he sort of just went away, like he wasn't playing almost.
Yep.
And now he's kind of back and he's starting every day. And he kind of was last year too. But now, is this a guy who you see, I don't think anyone drafted him as a starter. Is this a guy who you're buying into at all?
Well, obviously he's not going to keep up this pace.
What? He's not going to hit 500?
You've got him here 500 with 3 homers and 2 steals in 5 games.
Are you sure?
We've seen the ability from him before to put up 15 of each, 15 homers, 15 steals.
Well, career high 12 homers, career high 20 steals.
Okay.
Yep.
So
and that was in 113 games. So yeah.
What I will say about Wong is that he had a really good second half last year.
Okay.
So after the All-Star break, he raked. So if you see this as a continuation of that, I think you can buy in. I don't think I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's a straight, like, random dude had a big first week. Like, he had signs the end of last year.
There's pedigree with this guy.
And like, recent pedigree. Like, last second half, he hit really well.
28. He kind of fits the bill, right? Post-type breakout. We see these all the time. Or at least for 1 year. Hey, this guy put it together.
It's the Cardinals. Cardinals do Cardinals things.
That's right.
Might be his turn to have a ridiculous year when you don't expect it.
They kind of do.
What would be nice to see from him is if they can move him up the order.
Yeah.
Because he's batting, 8th or 9th? I'm not sure if they do the 9th after the pitcher deal. But he's batting at the bottom of the order, which is no fun. And you'd like to see him go up to maybe like the 2-hole or something, but it's Carpenter Goldschmidt there, so I guess.
So yeah, he's hit.
Carpenter's leading off actually.
Right, he's hit 7th or 8th. He's hit 7th 4 games, 8th 1 game.
Yeah, and he might be one of those guys too where they don't want to move him up because that'll like.
Hey, he's in a rhythm now.
Exactly.
Can't mess with that.
So I think you could be. I think he's like if you need a middle and a middle infield, you don't have to
for sure
be amazing.
He's pick upable.
Sure,
we'll put it that way.
100%.
Right. Another guy who can play middle infield, also third base. Tim Beckham, Mariners, hot start. This was a dude I was all about last year.
Yep.
Being a sleeper with the Orioles, because I love that park. And he really flopped. Just because he had a pretty good year 2 years ago.
Right.
And with the Rays. And he just flopped. And now this year he comes out smoking the ball, did it in Japan, came over, kept it going. That jet lag didn't affect him. He somehow managed to defeat that, untamable beast of jet lag you always tell me about. And
he had some days to get back on track. So.
Yeah. So anyway, he's killing it. I mean, 3 homers.
We should have a jet lag segment.
Oh, every week.
Who's coming back from the East Coast?
8 runs, 8 ribbies. I mean, we do it with football, right? The West to East early games. He's taking walks this year early. I mean, this one seems. I think the Mariners. You were saying before, you're like, I don't think the Mariners are that bad. I think they suck.
They're a little feisty. Their lineup's not terrible. They're feisty,
but I think they're going to crash hard at some point. Probably. And I think not a great park. I just put it all together. This one screams to me fluky, but again, pedigree, good position versatility.
Yeah, 22 homers in 2017.
Right, with the Rays.
Yep. Well, Rays and Orioles.
Rays and Orioles. He can play third and short at least in Yahoo leagues. Good, what you want. I don't know, worth a pickup.
Yeah, if you need him. I think the thing with this is just because a guy's putting up silly rate stats right now,
right,
and some other guy in your league is going to say, "Oh, you think he's going to keep that up?"
Right.
Like
Make
they
you feel
don't have to keep that up, but they might be a usable player. It's all about expectations, right? Like, do we think that Tim Beckham is going to outplay Carlos Correa the rest of the year? Mm-hmm. No, or probably not. But does that mean if you had Trey Turner and shortstop is decimated in your league and Beckham's out there, you could do worse?
Yeah. The problem with Turner, we should have mentioned this too. When a guy like Turner gets hurt, you want a guy who steals, right? Because obviously when you drafted Turner, you drafted him.
You didn't draft maybe other guys who run because you had him.
So now you're like, crap, I need something in steals. Right. Which Beckham's not going to do.
I need something in steals and I need something in shortstop.
Or you just say, screw it, steals are done.
Right.
And I'm going to try to go
fill
power.
the position and do my thing.
Right. I'm going to try to maximize the other 4 positions, screw steals.
I mean, there's worse people you can pick up than Beckham. Sure. It's just that whole, he's not going to keep that up. Yeah, I know he's not going to keep that up. But that doesn't mean he can't hit a little bit and play a position for me.
Right, exactly. All right, another guy. Are
we going through your Mariners right now? Or
yeah, let's stick with the Mariners then. And, we could have put Healy on here. There's other Mariners we could have put. I put Jay Bruce, who is not hitting the ball well.
Okay.
But
why should I pick him up then?
He's bad. Let me tell you. No, but he's hitting homers.
Yeah.
And he's producing runs.
He's kind of always hitting homers, right?
Well, yeah. But now he's, but that was in Cincinnati. We like that park. I mean, he had homers with the Mets too and stuff. But so he's not hitting. So what do you think of that? Where it's like a guy's hitting sub 200.
He's not going to hit he's not going to hit sub 200 and hit Joey Gallo type power.
Right.
I think here's a guy that, he had 29 homers, career high in 17. He had 36 homers in 17.
Right.
Cleveland and the Mets.
Right.
That'll certainly move the needle. I feel like he'll still sit at maybe 25 or something. Mm-hmm. And there's other guys that do that. Plays a position like first base. Does he qualify at both first and outfield?
Yahoo, yeah.
I mean, those are popular positions.
Right. You don't need them, right?
No.
It just feels like, what's the point?
Kind of.
Like there's a million of those guys and he's just, and it's almost like, I mean, he's not like torrid start, like 3 homers, not crazy, but it's still kind of like, all right, he's kind of already had a little bit of a hot streak.
I feel like in April.
And he's not even hitting well in his hot streak.
In April, you just came out of the draft. Hopefully, again, your guys aren't hurt yet. Like, you shouldn't really need to go there.
So it's like if you drafted like that sleeper, right? I'm just going to throw in Ramon Liriano.
Okay.
And you liked him a lot. And you're looking at him now and you're like, he's hitting 8. He's not doing much.
Should I play Bruce?
I know I loved him 2 weeks ago. And now I'm just like, screw it, I'm out. I want to grab this guy who's hitting a bunch of homers now. I always say no.
I'm not that excited about Jay Bruce.
No, me neither. Or a Jay Bruce type.
Right.
Right. All right, another kind of a Jay Bruce type. Not totally the same, but Trey Mancini.
Oh, we're skipping over Healy? I thought we were going down the Mariners.
Yeah, well, I mentioned he's not.
I did want to bring up Mariners.
Well, say something about him then.
I got nothing to say about Healy.
Okay.
He's slightly more interesting than Bruce because he plays third.
Right.
And,
typically his name like an a-hole.
A more scarce position. No, a guy I wanted to bring up from Seattle, and this may be too deep, but is their catcher, Omar Narvaez.
Okay. Yeah.
I needed a catcher this week.
Yeah, we all did.
And picked up someone else, which we can get to in a minute because I know he's on your list.
Who you hate.
But This Narvaez guy, he's hit a little bit in the past, and he looks really good at the plate.
I kind of liked him as a little bit. I actually don't even think I'd put him in the sleeper list. So if I didn't even put him in that at catcher, I definitely didn't like him that much. But I remember when I was going through doing the rankings, I was like, okay. But I think I kind of doubted his playing time.
Well, I don't think playing time's a doubt.
No, I don't think it is either.
I don't think playing time's a doubt. I mean, last year in Chicago, 280 at bats, he hit 9 homers, hit 275. Year before, only 2 homers, hit 277. He's not going to kill your average. He looks pretty good out there. He's got a little bit of pop. If you need a catcher, which I did.
Which you did. Who was your catcher? Why'd you need one?
I gave up on Wellington Castillo faster than...
I don't get that.
He started 1 out of the first 3 games.
All right, bad sign.
Like, as a catcher, healthy, coming out of spring training, I got no time for that.
All right, he's resting.
You want to talk Mancini?
Yeah,
all right.
Talk Mancini. He's walking a lot. 4 walks already. All right, Mancini, first base outfield eligible. Another guy who sort of had some prospect hype and then settled into just a classic mediocre... I think 24 homers exactly each of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. And it was
for some reason, I like his 24 homers more than Jay Bruce's 24 homers.
Right. And because he's younger, right? Yeah. Probably. And the park he's in. Yeah. But it was like, okay, that's what this guy is. Mm-hmm. He's a 240, 24 homer guy. That's a dime a dozen. Screw him. I don't need him. Well, hot start, right? Hitting the ball. He's not hitting homers like Jay Bruce. He's like hitting the ball well and just doing well. We love the park. We talk about it all the time. Is this a guy...
The 5-1 Orioles?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's that too. But is this a guy you see, like... I always say with a guy like that, his breakout, his career year is like good BABIP, and he hits almost 280, and he hits 34 homers, and it's like, hey, Trey Mancini was great for me this year.
Again, first base outfield doesn't really help him. I happen to think he's a pretty good player.
He's 27, good age.
You know, he's in that good park. I don't think there's going to be, there might not be a lot of ribbies in that lineup, just with no help around him.
Well, here's the interesting...
But, I mean, I don't think he's going to kill you.
Interesting thing about him, 2 years ago, he hit 293. Mm-hmm. Now, that was a 352 BABIP. Last year, 285 BABIP, hit 242. So what is... he might be a pretty good average hitter, decent enough... And then if he just has that career year at homers and pops 30-some,
I would rather have him.
Feel good
I'll say this: I'd rather have him than Bruce.
I agree.
He's going to be most likely have a better batting average.
Yeah. For sure.
He's in a better park. I mean, he's hitting right hand. I don't know if Bruce is going to. I don't know if they have a platoon guy for Bruce to sit against lefties. Bruce, I would say probably a trade candidate too. Be a bench bat for someone down the stretch. Whereas Mancini's probably going to play 160 games if he doesn't get hurt. I just kind of like Mancini more than Bruce.
Yeah, I do too. All right, here's the one you've been teasing me about all day. You're all excited to drop some Austin Barnes nugget on me.
Well, it's funny because Austin Barnes is who I picked up.
Right.
Had a good start. You have his numbers here. 455, 2 homers, no Ks yet.
No Ks.
3 starts. That's nice.
3 out of 6. So he started half the games.
Right.
Which isn't great, but it's okay.
And full disclosure, I picked him up.
Awesome.
Okay.
Way to go.
Guys had some okay stats. Had a terrible year last year. He's had some okay stats prior to that.
Yeah. He was a popular sleeper 2 years ago.
Exactly. So here's a reason to not pick him up. Or here's a reason to think this start is definitely not going to last.
All right, lay it on.
So he is
waiting for this all day.
He is 0 for 19 this season. When a fastball is thrown. It was not over 19. Ooh. He has had 19 fastballs thrown to him. He has not touched one yet.
Has he swung and missed at them all?
Yeah, not at all, but he has not hit a fastball yet.
All right, he's just baiting them.
And last year, he hit 187 against fastballs.
He's just baiting the pitchers, bruh.
He hit 187 against that's the easiest pitch to hit.
Maybe for you.
If this dude can't hit fastballs... And apparently last year he had 60% fastballs thrown against him. And this year it's the other way. He's had 60% breaking stuff thrown against him. Once they figure that out, it's going to be...
But don't you he's going to start hitting fastballs eventually?
It's insane that a major league hitter can't hit fastballs.
What do they qualify as a fastball?
I don't know. But so you have to admit that's weird, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
And it's not a good sign.
It's not good. But here's what's interesting, and this probably ties into that. So his rookie year... Or not his rookie year, I guess, but his first kind of full season. 2017, played 102 games. And he struck out this is a super high walk guy, so he always does that. So he's just a guy who takes pitches. But he struck out 16.4% of the time. Pretty respectable, all things considered.
I respect him.
Last year, same 2 fewer games, 28.2% K rate. So clearly they were like, hey, throw this guy fastballs.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have fastball numbers on that?
No, but this year, he hasn't struck out yet.
Well, my question is,
13 plate appearances.
So what happened to the scouting report? Like, do they delete it every year and start a new one? They're not like, hey,
or are they just like, nah, this can't be right?
Like, they're not like, hey, what did we do against Barnsey last year? Oh, he's doing fastballs. Let's not do that. Maybe he's adjusted.
Yeah, he's figured it out. I don't know. So you're right. It is really weird. And maybe all it's going to take is pitchers to start throwing him fastballs that he's just going to suck. But I liked him.
Yeah, I picked him up.
Right.
Because the Dodgers are hitting the heck out of the ball.
Yeah, they are.
And
he's part of my Austin's bet against you for stolen bases.
Yeah. So, right now I'm into Barnesy.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what though, I'm close to picking up Narvaez.
Yeah, do it. Pick up Nirvana there from Seattle. But I don't know. I just, for some reason, those are good stats. Those are interesting.
Those are good stats. No one's denying they're good
They
stats.
bring something to the table.
Good stats.
But I'm like, he'll hit him.
So
This is like how you think every lefty hitter could hit a righty pitcher.
Well, they should be able to.
And vice versa. I'm just like, he'll be able to hit fastballs. So I don't care what you present to me about.
So when I teased this stat before, and you feverishly ran the Fangraphs to try and figure it out, did you have any? Where would have been looking for pitch type?
I know. I never
on your list of things to search for.
I never would have looked for this. He must have heard that during the game.
No, it was. I read it somewhere. I forget where.
That's not as impressive.
You probably were like, "This kid's so lazy. He's probably just looking at BABIP."
No, I knew because the way you were sitting there gloating about it, I was like, "This is something." This isn't just going to be...
That's the kind of analysis that I give people out there, okay?
No, it's
other people's analysis that I read.
Yeah. Do they have a podcast where you read that? Let's just have people go there. Good Lord. All right.
Well, but here's the thing with you have to read Twitter.
There's a lot of players and a lot of stats.
Read Twitter, listen to other stuff, and
Yeah, it's the way it is. So, all right. Those are just some guys that have jumped out to us. There's a million more we could have talked about.
Can I just want to name a couple guys if you want some pop in your lineup.
I do.
Christian Walker.
I call it soda.
From Diamondbacks are not quite playing every day already, but got three homers, hitting like 467. Obviously, he's not going to keep that up, but was thought to play against lefties, but I believe he got a start against a righty last night, or maybe pinch hit. Jake Lamb. Not special, I don't think.
Well, no,
had that one big year.
Two. I mean,
two big years,
and they were very consistent.
I like Walker as a potential deep league pickup. A great park. I don't think there's a ton going on in Arizona that they wouldn't find a spot for him.
Right.
If he can hit. And the other guy, Jorge Soler, who had a good year last year before he got hurt. He had he had 9 homers in 61 games last year, 265 average, not special, but okay. He's hitting the ball well so far. I believe he hit well in spring training. It's carried over into the season.
Oh.
I mean, not a great
he's
team.
Always that dude that before last year I was big on him.
Yeah.
He's away from the Cubs. He's got everyday at bats. This guy's too good to not break out at some point, and he might not be too good to not break out, but
I think he could get to 25, 30 homers.
Yeah,
if he stays healthy.
Yeah. No, those are definitely.
Yeah. I thought we had another one, but it turns out he's not really hurt. Brandon Nimmo, whatever his name is, got hit by a pitch last night, left the game. Thought maybe we have a Keon Broxton sighting.
He's stealing bases,
would
right?
Like to
when
see
he plays.
him. Would like to see him get some playing time because there's a guy with 2020 potential. Not getting. I hate when those guys are on the bench.
Oh, and because they're so tempting too when they play.
Yeah,
that's a daily league guy for sure, streamer. But that guy strikes out so damn much.
I thought maybe if Nimmo
he hasn't struck out this year though. Good for him. He's only had 3 plate appearances.
Let's get to the main event.
Closers. Hold on, Puig's pinch hitting right now, so that's the main event as far as we're concerned. He's on our home run team, so. Freddie Peralta dealing 7 2/3, 10 Ks, 2 hits.
I'm just tracking this Carlos Rodon start.
Aren't we all? God, day games are so distracting.
But they're so good. They're so much better than night games.
Well, they are for us.
When you're at work.
But our job specifically allows us to watch the games literally in the office.
Right.
I would bet if we had like office jobs, like jobs that paid more money.
Right.
that would provide us with a better life otherwise.
Right.
And it was like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, we'd still be following along on Yahoo.
I mean, I guess, but then we'd have the boss man busting our hump,
Yeah.
telling us to get back to work.
the boss
and in
man.
here, it's like, it's part of it. Like,
Right.
hey, why aren't you watching baseball?
Yeah.
That's what they yell at us sometimes. So there's pluses and minuses. All right, closers.
Yes, the main event.
Good Lord. Some of these situations, and it's not like we didn't know they were going to be this messy.
But they're messier, I think, than we thought.
Well, yeah, some of them. Now, the Mariners, that's because of an injury, right? That one was like, hey, Strickland's the guy. And then he got blown up and was hurt, and they let him try to pitch.
I thought it was an excuse for a minute, too. It's like first blown save. Like, no, I felt something.
Right.
And I was like out for 2 months.
Yeah, but
So it's like, I guess
did you
weren't lying.
read about that? How it was like they went out there, and they're like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, again, so we talk about old David Hess getting yanked during a no-hitter.
Right.
And this is like your closer this early in the year, like, I don't know, something don't feel right.
He's got such a good closer name, too. Like, Hunter Strickland should be...
Headhunter Strickland.
Should be, like, throwing 99 and just striking people out in the ninth.
So anyway, that sort of made that situation messier. But which one did you want to start with?
Well, when you sent these over, I was kind of looking at the one, like I kind of was not so much rank them, but separate them into tiers.
Yeah.
And either ones you either feel good about, or you're just like they're the decent teams that are going to provide probably saves. But like I don't think like you have the Cardinals on this list.
Yeah.
I don't really think. I think Hicks is the closer until several bad things happen.
Okay.
Like he's not. Like we've seen on these other teams, they're either completely going committee,
Right.
and we have no idea who's going to get the next save, or one thing bad happened and the guy's out.
Right.
I think the Cardinals want Hicks to be the closer. I don't think Andrew Miller has looked okay. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they're going to go any further down they're not going to go to Reyes yet. I think they're going to give Hicks, 3, 4, 5, however many save chances. I think he can blow one and he's going to get the next one.
Right.
He'd need to blow 2, 3 in a row or something like that, or really have a bad experience to not be the closer. I don't think the Cardinals is really on this list.
All right. Well, so he's had 3 appearances so far as of this recording. One was bad, quite bad. The other 2 were great. So yeah, I agree. He's the closer right now. But I have a feeling that the only save they've recorded was John Gant in extra innings. So neither of them have a save, Miller or Hicks. But
Miller hasn't looked good.
No, he hasn't, and he didn't look good last year either. So it's a weird one. You're right. Hicks is the closer. I just have a feeling that something's gonna happen there, and things are gonna change for sure. But yeah, Miller's been terrible.
Yeah. So next one up. Brewers right now, nothing to talk about. It's Hader. He's awesome. They're letting him have normal 1-inning saves. Now, Jeffress going on a rehab assignment this week.
I know. I'm
this
convinced
weekend.
he's going to be the closer.
A lot of people are.
He's ready.
A lot of people are. Everyone thinks that they want Hader in the multi-inning, 7th, 8th, whatever, getting, striking out 5 guys in 2 innings or whatever. Mm-hmm. So Jeffress probably has to have a good appearance or 2. Maybe he's got to prove he can throw on back-to-back days. But I think he will be the closer in, what do you want to put a timetable on it, 2 weeks?
From today?
Yeah.
I think maybe a little more than that.
All right. He's going on minor league assignment this weekend.
2 to 3, or,
3 weeks.
They might sign Kimbrel or something else.
But yeah, he had the best year of his career last year. Who did? Jeffress.
Okay, yeah.
I think they'll go back to that formula. And unless they do go and get a Craig Kimbrel, I think it'll go back to Hader in the 7th and 8th, Jefferson in the 9th. What do you think?
I agree. They're probably going to have a save situation today. I'm just looking at it. Peralta, you need to let him go complete game. 100 pitches through 8. 2 hits, no walks, 11 Ks. Got a shutout going.
Oh, well, I would say normally no.
Yeah.
But I think Hader's pitched 3 of the last 4, so they might want to lay off.
Hader. So you're saying, I'm saying, do you think Peralta's going to go?
Well, I'm saying they might not. They don't want to use Hader. I'm saying probably.
Yeah, sure.
So that might make him go. Might make him go. I would say normally he wouldn't. They would go Hader easy. But I don't know. Maybe it's a Matt Albers appearance.
Ooh, Albie, Junior Guerrera. All right. So who do you want to talk about next?
Let's see. Next one I'd rank. What do you want to talk Mariners? Just because like last night was so just kind of cut and dry.
So Mariners, I'll say, because remember you texted me and you were like, "What are you're trying to order pickups for like some of the
in
relievers."
full disclosure, I have been knee deep in chasing closers and wavering and trying to. I've lost guys, I've gained guys. No, this is exactly what I came in the season not wanting to do.
So I was like, Swarzak.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's coming off the DL Tuesday. Now Strickland hurt, like he's gonna close because they've had 5 different guys after Swarzak last night get saves already this year, which is kind of crazy for a team that everyone thought was going to be terrible. Just who has 5 who has 5 different saves?
Well, if you have 5, you got none.
That's kind of true, right? And again, they're weird because they had a closer, he got hurt, etc. I just think he's the closer. Like,
well, last night, I mean, you look at the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
First game of the season, they're just like first and third. Was it 1 out? First and third, 1 out.
So
get in
they
there.
let Marco Gonzalez start the 9th, puts 2 on, first and third, 1 out, and then they bring in a guy who's just on the injured list, right, with a sore shoulder. And that's his first appearance of the year.
Get him
Talk
in
about
there.
not babying him. And then he comes through, struck out the first guy. Not sure what the second batter did, but struck out the first guy with the runner on third. And that's all I needed to see. Like, I mean, they're throwing him to the fire right away. He's the closer until he's not.
Likely, yeah. And I think, were any of the guys lefties? I can't remember. I don't think so.
The first one, it might have been Pujols was up.
Yeah, so he's a righty.
Pujols and whoever.
It was definitely Pujols. He struck him out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so because they've been playing a little lefty-righty. So the question is just Swarzak their guy? Or are they still going to do that? I think it's just Swarzak. He's a good pitcher.
Yeah. Bad year last year, but really good before that.
Right. So that's I think that's the guy, and I kind of think he's going to keep the job and be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll have a little bit of rope. I think if they're willing to do that to him last night, then he'll have a little bit of rope for sure.
All right, who do you want to talk about next?
Let's see. I'm gonna say your Twins.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a decent team. So
I got a conspiracy. Saves. Something weird's going on with Trevor May.
I think so too.
By the way, last week when my bold prediction was he's gonna be a top 10 closer.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a top 10 closer. All right. He's pitched a third of an inning.
Right.
I'm not sure if he's pitched today or is going to pitch today, but third of an inning. That's really weird, especially because they've been in some close-ish games.
For sure.
And he hasn't even sniffed warming up in a closer spot.
Again, to go back to last night, they had Parker and what's his name? Hildenberger.
Yeah.
If May was okay, you'd think that'd be Parker and May, right?
Right.
In the 9th, and they were up in the 8th, the 9th, and then did that go extras? They went in the 9th or the 10th? I forget.
I think it was the 9th, wasn't it?
Either way, those guys were the 2 that were up late, besides Rogers being in the game.
Yeah, because they're both righties. It wasn't like they had a righty and lefty.
So that tells me that Hildenberger is ahead of May, or something's wrong with May.
And that has to be it, right? I don't get it. It's almost like, he came back from Tommy John last year, didn't throw a ton of innings. It's almost like they're conserving innings with him. Like the way for a starter, you start him the year in the bullpen, their way of conserving innings is not pitching him.
Right.
I don't get it. It's weird. It's like, why isn't he just on the DL then?
Right.
If you're not going to use him to this degree, and he is your best pitcher, I mean,
I'm starting to think Rogers might be their best pitcher.
No, Rogers is good. I mean, but we all know how managers are with lefties. Yeah. I said it 15 times last episode. Managers, for whatever reason, just don't like to throw lefties as closers unless it's like Chapman, right? Unless it's just
I think
stud.
You're the Twins fan, so I'll defer to you.
Yeah. I'm too close to the situation.
I feel like we disagreed a little bit yesterday or the day before, but now I think Rogers comes in when they're in trouble or when it's lefties or whatever. Like whenever they feel like 7th, 8th inning, they'll let him go more than one. And I think they want it. As much of a committee as this seems like it, I think they just want Parker to be a 9th inning closer.
I think they do. I think it might, but then it's like, why didn't he close opening day? There was a bunch of righties when they had Rogers close that game out. He finished the game against like 3 righties. So what's up?
I don't know.
And then Parker's first appearance wasn't very good. And the Twins announcers are like, well, that's because it's cold. His splitter, it don't work in the cold. I'm like, why is he in Minnesota then?
Looked fine last night.
But he looked good last night.
Retired his first 2 batters, really let the third guy get on, and then got out of it.
And then it's like I look at May, again, going back to May, and in spring, he threw 8 innings, same as like the other guys. Had a 2.25 ERA, 1.38 WHIP, 9 Ks. Seems fine.
You think maybe April's not his month?
I
think he's more of
it's
a May
weird.
guy.
I get it. That's great. Something weird's going on there. He's conserving. Conserving.
This is one of those cases like I actually think something is.
So, but this is what I'm going to say. He's either going to go on the DL soon, or like on May. Jokes aside, May 1, they're just like, okay, we bought that month. You're our closer. Go.
Yeah, because again, like how many teams? So if they've played, I don't know how many they played, 4 or 5
Billy
games.
Hamilton just got a steal.
4, 5, 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, what reliever on a team?
A good reliever.
Has pitched
one appearance.
A third of an inning.
A third of an inning.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's fishy.
Yeah. So I think the Twins right now, Twins right now are fairly stable with Parker, I think, for now.
I wouldn't go that far, but it seems closer to that than any other alternative.
So if we're talking rope on these guys,
stable, though.
I think Parker gets like at least like 2 save opportunities.
You're
like
saying
he gets
he's going to have to blow 2
He's
more?
going to have to blow 2. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what I'll put on them.
I mean, I don't know. That's a weird one. I wish I knew more. All right, who next?
Next one. So we're down to Orioles, Royals, Marlins.
Save the Orioles for last.
Okay.
They're the most fun.
So I think Marlins. I think that's the next easiest one.
Right.
Romo, Steckenrider.
Right. It's Romo, right?
You want to take? Yeah. I mean, it was Romo last time. Steckenrider hasn't pitched good his last couple of appearances.
But they had him in. I don't think it was a safe situation, but it was like the top of the inning in a tie
after
game.
Romo had the horrible.
Right, which is the closer spot.
Right.
And then he wasn't good either.
Right. Then Romo came in, got it saved fairly easily. Then Steckenrider had another bad appearance.
But so that one, if I recall correctly, it was Romo's save. Chen started that inning, 9th inning in a save situation because a lefty was up. I'm pretty sure.
Try not to watch too many Marlins games.
What's that?
I don't watch Marlins games.
I don't mean either.
Now they took the home run structure down. I'm not watching.
What's the point?
I'm not tuning in. That was the only point.
I don't like their new unis and hats.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about them. But
I don't like their owner.
Yeah, he's not their owner.
Well, he's the face of the ownership group.
Is he?
I'm just not going to root for Derek Jeter in anything.
Right.
He's had enough.
He's had some success in life. But yeah, so it's like even then it's like, hey, we're still going to kind of play matchups at least a little bit early on, but does that mean if it was all lefties, they just would have left Chen? Before the year they were talking about Conley being that lefty guy. They seem to don't want him, but then it was Chen.
I think it's going to be Romo more often than it's not. I think
guess.
He's going to get saves. I think he's going to have blow-ups. I think Steckenrider's going to come in and get a save. I think this one, I really don't want a big part of this. And we're getting to the ones where I don't really want a part of it.
Well, yeah, that's just it. This isn't a good team. By the way, Alex Wilson in for the Brewers.
Okay. See, they got to lay off Hader today.
Yeah. And too early for a CG. Too early.
Yeah.
So that's a weird one. I guess it's Romo. I wouldn't feel great about him. I don't feel good about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Royals.
So
this is an interesting one.
Well, it's funny with the Royals and Twins are playing each other.
That's right.
Yesterday, today, whatever. And I got Peralta and I've got Parker. And I'm just hoping.
And I've been a staunch anti-Peralta guy.
All right. But you told me this week, I said, which one should I play this week? And you said play Peralta over Parker.
Oh, that's because I really didn't trust. But that's because I didn't realize Trevor May is
So
in a
last
glass
night,
case.
I had to have my lineup in by 8:15. I had each of them. At 8:07, I switched from Peralta to Parker. I went against you.
Smart.
Because I was like, Parker pitched the 9th inning of a tie game.
Right.
Like last. Like that's higher than Peralta's in the depth chart. Anyway, my point is I'm watching this game last night, a game I shouldn't be watching, Twins and Royals.
What does that mean? It's a great game.
And I'm just hoping for a save opportunity so that we can like just get more information.
Right.
And we got it. We're going to do the Royal side of it. We already did the Twins side.
Yeah.
We got the Twins info, and now we got the Royals side. So Peralta came in the 7th.
Yeah.
Diekman came in the 8th. Things were going fine. And then Kennedy came in the 9th after he got the save the other day.
Right.
And sure enough, gave up a run.
And then old Boxy.
And then old Boxy came in, and he didn't pitch well either.
Yeah, that was the 10th. I think it was an extra inning game. Yeah.
So where do we stand?
I think it's Kennedy.
You think Kennedy gets the next one?
All I know is he got that save, and I was reading in the Kansas City Star, and they were talking him up. Like, Yost is talking him up.
But he's also said, I think I got 2 late inning guys. They're both going to be.
I know.
He's like, I could go to Willie tomorrow.
Right. And so the real guy it was bad for was old Boxy.
Right.
Who, does have a save, but that was just.
I think Boxy's 4th on the list right now.
4th?
Yes.
You think he's behind Diekman?
Yeah. Well, look at last night. Peralta in the 7th, Diekman in the 8th.
Yeah, because Diekman's an 8th inning guy.
Is that it? Has he been typecast? Is that it? Okay.
Certain guys are eighth inning guys.
Are you saying that or?
No, I do kind of believe that.
Okay.
But either way, he's third or fourth. Either way, not good, not worth owning.
Right.
But at the same time, can you drop him if you're involved in this mess?
You can drop Boxberger.
Okay.
For sure. I think he's not a good pitcher. He hasn't pitched. Well, A, he's not a good pitcher. B, he hasn't pitched well this season.
Say that one more time. Say he's not a good pitcher.
He's not a good pitcher. He hasn't pitched well this season.
Yeah.
He was in the 6th or 7th the other night. Like he's not. Right. I don't think he's in the running. I think it's Kennedy and Peralta. So you think Kennedy gets the next one?
I kind of think that's who they want, but because he gave up that run, he wasn't like getting smoked. Like the ball, they weren't hitting the ball hard really.
I mean, it was a leadoff double, right?
There was a bloop.
They didn't. Wait, no. They didn't hit the ball hard. Polanco hit one off the wall. First batter he faced.
Was that Polanco?
Yeah.
Who had the blue? Okay, so he hit the ball and then
and then someone went opposite field, line drive single to score, and pretty much right.
No, that was off Boxy that I'm thinking of, where they didn't really hit it hard.
Okay,
like Austin Dio had the bloop, and there was some other weird stuff. Yeah, Polanco tagged that one off.
And
Kennedy.
then they drove him in. I think in the next batter.
Yeah, it was like a single through the
single up the middle.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's him. I just think they like him for some reason. They seem really excited about him.
I think Peralta gets the next one over Diekman. Like I think this is a carousel until someone can save like 2 in a row.
I guess so. Just you get a save, then you get the next
And
chance.
with the Royals, that might take a week and a half.
Not that bad.
The other guy I think to keep an eye on is Kyle Zimmer.
Okay.
Who I've been reading my Kansas City Star, my Twitterverse as well. And, he was a first round pick, 5th overall back in the day. Hasn't made it. I mean, I think this was his major league debut. I don't even think he's been up before. Mm-hmm. He threw 1 inning the other day, but he throws hard. And I could see him being
the guy who throws hard.
I could see him being a dark horse.
Does he throw fastballs? What if Austin Barnes came up against him?
All right, so you're gonna say Kennedy gets next save. I'm gonna stick with my boy Peralta. Say he gets next save.
By the way, we were talking shit about him all last night and this morning. Alex Gordon 3-run homer. We might get a Royal save sitch later today.
Can't wait
to watch. All right,
Alex Gordon. He's terrible. He's actually got a couple of hits today.
The last one, Kyle Gibson went to Mizzou. All right, the last one, Orioles.
This is
a free for all.
This one's laughable.
I almost think they're throwing darts.
There's so much to laugh about here. The fact that the Orioles are 5-1.
Right. So they've had 4 different guys get saves. None of them are Michael Gibbons.
Who might be their best reliever?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But they've got 5 wins.
Right.
5 wins and 4 saves. They're the Orioles, who everyone's like, they're going to lose 100 games easy.
Right.
Everyone's like, if you're going to have a guy, have Gibbons.
And by the way, they probably will still lose 100 games.
It's like they're going out of their way to not use Gibbons. It's hilarious.
No, that one game, they tried him, and it was like they tried him for a 2-inning save.
Yeah.
And he got an inning and 2/3, and then had thrown so many pitches they had to take him out, or maybe a lefty was up. I forget exactly what. It looked like that game he was going to get a save.
Well, it looks like the manager Brandon Hyde.
Yeah,
it's like he's got a video game team and he's trying to see if he can spread out his stats.
Right.
To like as many. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna try Castro tonight.
Well, okay, so he was the guy that I talked about. He had a pretty good spring. And
he's closed before too, hasn't he?
I don't know if he's closed before.
He's done everything before. I feel
he sounds like a type of guy who's closed before.
I feel like he's closed before.
And he had a pretty good
closer experience.
He had a pretty good spring and just seemed like, you know what, I could see this kind of being the guy, and it'll be ugly and it won't be good. And he got the save last night. They left him in against lefties.
Is he really 6'7"?
Why wouldn't he be? He's a big dude.
6'7".
He's a big dude. They left him in against lefties, which I thought was really important. Right now, if I had to pick one, and maybe this is a fool's errand, but I think I would go with Castro.
He had 4 saves in 2015, so he's got closer experience.
That's closer experience, all right. Yeah.
Can you tell me what team you got those for?
Yeah, the Blue Jays.
You're looking at it right now.
Yeah. He really wasn't very good.
He's not.
Last 3 years, or counting this year, I guess, K rate 6 or below. Oh,
I just think this Orioles thing's fine. This is one, if you want to rank them, this is the worst one.
This is 30.
Because this is a combination of bad team, manager throwing everyone out there, not caring, not really a lot of good options. This is the worst.
It either feels like they're just it's gonna be a different guy every single night, possibly based on lefty-righty matchups, or to me anyway, it's Castro. But like if he gets lit up his next appearance, maybe it's like, hey, it's Givens, and I'll change my mind by this time next week.
I could see out of these 7 teams, every one person on every team, quote unquote, running with the job except the Orioles. Maybe not Romo. I could see someone settling in and like running with the job for all those other teams.
Oh.
The thing with closers, though, this is weird, right? It's like, yeah, you can look at stats, but isn't it funny, like, we're both reading local newspapers and like, I feel like that's where you find out.
I'm just trying to read between the lines.
Right, because it's not about, like, you can find out who the game 1 starter in the playoffs is going to be for a team. You look at their stats, you know their name, you're like, all right, that guy's their best pitcher. Everyone knows it.
Right.
But closers, it's like, no, you have to go and like read the manager's minds.
Yeah.
And you're on Twitter and you're on the Kansas City Stars website.
You're looking for usage in non-save situations. Like, wait, they used this guy when they were down 2.
Yeah, you're reading the tea leaves big time.
Yeah, and you're just like, why would they? If he was the closer, they wouldn't use him in the 8th in a game they were down 2.
Yeah. Tie game at home.
Right.
At home in the 9th, you can use your closer.
That's a closer spot.
Yeah, that's fine.
when you use a closer.
Yeah.
So if they don't, then I'm worried.
And then, we kind of brought him up for a second before. Craig Kimbrell.
Just chilling.
Throwing a wrench to, at some point, that Craig Kimbrell. Do you think at some point the Craig Kimbrell bomb is going to drop?
Of course.
Somewhere? You think he pitches this year?
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be for a team that we just didn't even talk about. It's going to be for a team that has a closer, and we're just like, oh, the Nats are fine. Doolittle's their guy.
I think the Brewers are still in play.
They're in play, and the Cardinals are in play.
And I think the Twins are in play because I think the Twins can be second place wild card team.
Maybe. Brewers, Twins, Cardinals.
Yeah.
But my prediction is still it's going to be like, what? Why'd the Yankees sign Craig Kimbrell? What's going on?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Well, the Red Sox invited Kimbrell to their opening day ring ceremony.
Oh, just to watch.
No, to come and get his ring.
Well, yeah, they should. Yeah. He was on the team.
Yeah, and maybe let him throw the 9th.
Do you think in 30 years, people are going to see like the replay of the final out of last year's World Series and be like, man, Sale went complete game.
Yeah, sick. Just sick.
What a warrior.
What a gamer. What a gamer.
It's all confusing now.
Can they do Kimbrell to like an Ichiro like 1-day contract and like let him close the home opener? See how it feels?
Boy, you're asking for a lot there.
He's going to be there.
Right.
Might as well pitch.
Let him be the opener.
Or that if he wants to leave, beat traffic.
So there's closers, man. Next week, the next shoe to drop, I think pretty soon we'll have the Angels, we'll have the Tigers. I think those are the next teams we'll be talking about.
Proud Cody Allen owner.
And the Reds, we could have talked about the Reds today too. There's some fishiness going on there as well that we need to watch out for.
And I got so many of these guys, and I'm just rotating them and chasing them. And it's like funny. You have a team, and you could have 4 closers one day, and you're like a couple things happen, 1 closer.
That's it.
Like I had 4 when I drafted. I thought I had 4, and then like 2 days later, I was like, I might only have 1.
1 injury, 1 lost job.
Yep.
Boom. All right. Last thing we want to talk about. We've talked a lot about the Royals already today. But we got to get into this. How bad of a hitter is Terrence Gore? What does he do during the week? What does he do during batting practice?
Well, because in reference to, he doesn't, like Billy Hamilton, this started today, about 2 hours ago. We're like, how bad is Billy Hamilton as a hitter? How bad is he? And then we were like, well, if he just blindly plays every day, but Terrence Gore is on the roster,
and can't get
started. We talked about this. Terrence Gore has more career stolen bases than plate appearances.
Right.
In his career.
Like this isn't even, Terrence Gore plays once a week.
And he is on an opening day 25-man roster of a major league team.
Right.
And he can't start. So, okay, if it's known he's not, what does he do during BP? Does he take BP?
Why bother?
Does he just run in the outfield?
Or is he just every day in there getting extra hacks going, I got to be ready?
Yeah. Like,
I got to be ready.
What does he do with his leg? What does he do during the game? Obviously, he's on the bike somewhere or something, keeping the legs warm.
Everything about it fascinates me. I want to see a documentary following what Terrence Gore's season is like.
They're doing documentaries on everything else.
Yeah, it's really easy to get a documentary made.
Or if he's taking BP, what's happening in BP that
is everyone watching and laughing?
That Yost is not even considering giving this guy a start.
Right. And they're like, oh, it's like when people used to say, oh, everyone came to watch McGuire take BP. Do people do the same, but for the opposite reason for Terrence Gore?
Do we need to track, like, what if he's, like, so he made the opening day roster, right? Like, I don't know if they have any outfield injury type things going on. So if he is it possible he could make the opening day roster, stay on the roster all season and not get a start? There's no way that's ever happened before.
Zero chance. But or they just always are like, you're a professional pinch runner.
But I get it.
And we're going to waste a roster spot on
September, October makes perfect sense.
Right.
But opening day?
It's fascinating to me.
And here's a tip. Ned. Or who's their GM? Is it still Dayton Moore? Is he still?
I'm not 100%.
Here's a tip. You've already got that guy on your team, Billy Hamilton. Why don't you get a better starter than him and make him your pinch runner? You don't need both.
I mean, they were doing it with Gerard Dyson, too, back in the day. But, again, they let him play a little bit.
Right.
A little bit.
But seriously, you've already got your pinch runner in Hamilton. He's starting in center field for you every day and not hitting
just
ninth.
Flailing at the ball, striking out like an idiot.
But, like, Gore, like, what? How redundant is that?
It's fascinating.
You're also like a last place team who has a professional pinch runner on it.
Yeah. I mean, if he's a guy, it's just, I want to know more. I want to talk to him.
I mean, you can get a credential to talk to him, can't you? You're on the writing side.
More about Gore.
What's their depth chart look like? What's their depth chart? So in the outfield, they got Chris Owings who can play anywhere. He's a backup. I mean, it's Gordon, Hamilton, Gore, Soler, Owings. But Soler's pretty much been DHing.
Right.
So if you moved Gore to the bench, I mean, can you just start Chris Owings in center? But then you got to move Gore. You know what? Screw Alex Gordon. Just start Hamilton and Gore.
Just go for it.
With Merrifield and Mondesi and just run.
We're running today, boys.
Don't swing. Tell Gore and Hamilton, don't swing.
Career, I'm just looking at his minor league numbers. He hit 211 at AAA last year as a 26-year-old. 254 slugging percentage.
Here's another question. Zach Greinke hit 2 home runs last night for Arizona. He comes back to Kansas City to finish his career out. Billy Hamilton's still there. Zach Greinke's pitching.
Right.
Do you DH for Hamilton?
It's funny how we think of Greinke, and it's like, career numbers, Hamilton's a better hitter. Like he just is. But we're like, oh, God, Hamilton's the worst. But Greinke, but it's like, no, obviously Hamilton hits.
This is great. I just went to Terrence Gore's RotoWorld player page, and they don't have his stats and game log on it.
Why would you?
They do for every other player I've ever been to.
Professional pinch runner.
Because he hasn't gotten that at so they don't even have his hitting stats.
He's a fascinating study. Greinke, though,
he's making $650K this year.
1 year with the Dodgers, he hit 328, 409 OBP in 72 plate appearances. But every other year, his OBP has been under 270. I mean, career numbers, 222, 260, 325. Like, he's not a better hitter than Billy Hamilton. Like, maybe if he was a position player and he practiced hitting, I have no doubt he'd be a better hitter than Billy Hamilton. But just as it stands right now, but he just hit 2 homers in a game, so we're like, oh, God. And I watched Billy Hamilton just, like, he was so not a threat to hit the ball last night against Barrios and whoever else he faced. I was like, what is this guy even doing?
Well, if it makes you feel better, Terrence Gore is going to make $350K in the minors this year, $650K in the majors this year.
It doesn't make me feel better.
Doesn't make you feel better?
It doesn't at all.
This guy
Good for him, though.
He's just jogging in the outfield every day at about 5 p.m.
I want to watch him take BP.
Yeah, that's a must-see event.
I really want to watch that.
That's a must-see event. Why don't you get a press pass?
Yeah.
And do a little something on Terrence Gore.
I should. The life of a professional pinch runner.
Yeah.
Baseball's most irrelevant player.
Doesn't Terrence Gore sound like a guy who should be playing like March Madness on a mid-major who just scores like 27 a game?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even SMU. I could see him on an SMU.
See on SMU?
I could see him on SMU hitting threes.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's on, like, I don't know.
Ohio?
Yeah, or like, I was going to say like a Valpo or something like that. Just like, they got this dude, or like Long Beach State or something. Yeah. And just like, this dude averages 26 a game.
Watch out for Pepperdine as a 14 seed. They got this Terrence
Gore. He's going to get an invite to an NBA camp.
Yeah, he'll at least be a priority free agent for sure. He'll be in Summer League. All right, now that's a lot of Terrence Gore talk.
Too much.
For baseball's most irrelevant player. That wraps it up. I think we covered everything.
or
pretty
nothing.
much covered
Depending
all
on how you
of
look at
baseball.
it, we covered either everything or nothing.
A lot of good closer stuff, and that's what's most important at this time of year. But we will be back next week to do more of the same. There'll be more crazy stats and crazy paces, and I'm sure we'll already have some new closers to talk about, or we'll just do the exact same list again.
Yeah, save that sheet.
Because I have a feeling most of these situations
Don't delete it.
aren't going to be any
And
more
we have
settled.
to definitely predict some 10-10, 20-20s next week.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. All right. So for anything else you need during the week, a lot of DFS stuff, a lot of MLB betting stuff too, you go to sportnews.com/fantasy. We'll take care of that for you. So for Eric Ferreira,
What should you do every night at 7?
watch Change Up on DAZN.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just do that.
you really should.
Do that.
Costs money, but you know what? Worry about that later. All right. For Eric Ferreira, I'm Matt Latowski. Thanks for listening, and until next time.